Hello, my dear people, long time no see. I actually like filming videos, but I don't like editing them. That's the reason I don't film much. And I forgot to wear a ring that I wanted to wear. Wait a second. Rings like this are very popular in Korea. My observations about living in Seoul, what to expect, what not to do. I prepared everything in this notebook. Do you know what TV show it's from? It's a copy. It's from a TV show called Violeta. It's in Spanish language. I think it was filmed in Argentina. Starting with, I'm not talking about all Koreans, but most Koreans do not have that hormone in their body that is responsible for smell when you're sweating. So they don't smell that much as we do, foreigners. There is a very limited selection of deodorants that you can buy, and usually those are your basic ones like Nivea. If you are very into your health, you may want to take organic deodorants with you that you can buy in bio stores. Of course, online shopping exists, but if you know stores where you can buy organic deodorants in Korea, Seoul, please write a comment. Bye. If you suddenly need help, do not hesitate to go to a Korean person, any age, because they are very, very helpful. They're so helpful, especially if you know a little bit, like slightly Korean. Even if they see you, foreigner, saying 안녕하세요, they already love you. They're very helpful. You can ask for some street if you're lost easily, just using a translator. Usually they use a translator in the app called Naver, and that I advise you to download. Naver, they use it instead of Google. And Naver Maps. Naver Maps are the best thing ever. You can put an address in English, in Korean. To me, because I know Korean alphabet, I prefer using Korean because there are just more options. So maybe learn a bit of alphabet if you're planning to travel for a long time. If you're just a tourist for a week, don't bother. Just use English. Actually forgot that the best translator there is Papago. Papago. Usually you just write something in English and translate into Korean. You show a Korean person, they understand everything. Then they write to you in Korean, you change it, and you can see it in English. So it's very easy to communicate if you are a foreigner. But learning a few phrases, 감사합니다 all your way. Just 감사합니다 all the time. 감사합니다, and you are the cutie patootie. 안녕하세요, that's it. 안녕하세요, 감사합니다. That's all you need. Or 죄송합니다, I'm sorry. 미안합니다, I'm sorry. That's all you need. Just learn 4 phrases to be polite. Please be polite. Also in Korea, they respect the older person, even if this person is just 1 year older. Somehow I met a lot of Koreans, and when they were like saying their age, I'm 21 and they're 23, for example, they were like, oh, you're such a baby. What's the difference between 21 and 23? No difference, but for them there is a huge difference. Unless you become friends, you have to, if you know Korean, you have to speak very politely, adding yo at the end. Never forget that. I follow a blogger and she speaks Korean. She lives in Korea. One time, just some elder woman did not hear that she added yo at the end. She thought that she was using a form of grammar that you use only with close friends, and she yelled at her. She's allowed to yell at a person because she's older. Very important, there are special seats for the elderly people in the subway. Please try to avoid cringy situations. And also, the pink seat in the subway is for pregnant women. I saw a lot of Koreans in the buses, in trains, sitting on that pink seat while there is no pregnant woman. But since we're foreigners, already we get too much attention because yes, we do stand out from the crowd. The only seat that is remaining for you to sit on is pink. Just do not sit. Oh, so trendy clothes, like brands you've never seen before that K-pop idols wear, typical Korean brands, you know, Korean style. This is Korean also. Cute Korea blue style. I'm not talking about H&M, Zara, Uniqlo, and other stores that we do have too. I'm talking about those brands. So they only carry one size fits all Of course, it does not fit all. I can fit into that size. My measurements are European size small, sometimes medium, especially when it comes to pants, because I do have a bit of a booty, which I like. American size, for example, is small. When I went to Japan, by the way, I noticed that sizing is even smaller than it is in Korea. For example, my breast in Japan, it is considered a cup C, so like third size, whereas in Europe and even in Korea it was considered a B cup, second size. So I was kind of shocked. Turns out, I guess Japanese women are smaller than Korean women. Koreans are the tallest among East Asians, and maybe that is also my observation. Maybe they are the tallest because of pork. They eat a lot of pork. I grew 2 centimeters taller, and the only adjustment in my life, like change in my life that happened, I started eating pork once I went to Korea, because in my family we don't eat pork. We eat beef, chicken, never pork. I came to Korea. If you ordered doenjanjjigae, those soups, they usually have not beef but pork in them. Pork contains growth hormone, which is not very good, but good if you are short, sort of like me. I was 1.64.4 centimeters. Now I'm 1.66.5 centimeters. Because of pork, I did not change anything. I told my mom about that, and she was like, that was my assumption too. So initially she came to Korea with me for a few weeks, and then she came back home. I stayed because I had language courses in Yonsei. I can also make a video about Yonsei if you want to. If you are going for a visit in Korea, you will stand out with clothing, because Korean style is like elegant, basic elegant, I would say. Like, for example, you're going to the office in the morning, and in the evening you have a date with either your friends or your boy. I indeed saw some hip-hop street style fashion, but most Koreans wear stuff that I showed, monotone. The colors are pastel. They stick to blue, white, black, gray, beige, brown colors. I felt unease when I first came to Korea. Of course, if you're a tourist, don't even care about that stuff. Like, dress whatever you want. But if you're going for a long visit, you may be a bit uncomfortable. I changed my style a bit. I started to buy clothes that they have, very cheap. The quality sucks. Of course, for the price you pay. This thing, for example, was $15. $15. Yeah, so don't pack a suitcase. I packed some things with me, like pants, because I thought that I would not fit into pants, but I did. They stretch a lot. Korean men, when dating them, of course not all Korean men I'm talking about, are very abusive. There are a lot of, finally, feminist movements right now in Korea, because women just can't bear it anymore. A lot of domestic abuse in Korea. So if you are, I'm afraid, like, there are some people who are like that. If you travel to Korea to find a perfect boyfriend that you saw in Korean dramas, BFFR. It's not real life. Please don't believe into fairy tales. You will be punched in the face, slut-shamed, especially when it comes to Hongdae boys. Okay, so Hongdae is a very trendy neighborhood for young people. Sometimes you won't even be accepted into the nightclub because you're older than 30. On Gangnam, you won't even be accepted into a nightclub if you are a foreigner. And sometimes there are even signs that say no foreigners allowed. It is obvious in a nightclub a lot of people meet and then they go into each other's place, and obviously they do the thing adults do. But in Korea, the guy may make you believe that he is very interested in you. He may even be sweet to you in the morning. I'm not talking from personal experience because I know that my parents are going to be watching. I'm not talking from personal experience. I just heard a lot of stories that are true. He will be sweet to you in the morning, boom, he disappears forever. But it's like that in most countries. Of course, I'm not saying that only Korean men. But domestic abuse is present in Korea. There are no fairy tales like Korean dramas. So I went on dates a lot. They do care about you like it is shown in Korean dramas. I feel like because Korean men watch K-dramas and they write everything down. Write everything down that they see, what women like. Because scriptwriters of K-dramas are women usually. So that's why we, straight girls, like Korean dramas a lot because our fantasies are shown on the screen. We see that and we cry. I was crying like a bitch when I was watching 25-21. I even went to Cheonju, which is a city in which 25-21 was filmed. Korean men write that all down. They care about you like that. They are gentlemen on a date. But then some bad things start to show. For example, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Could you please wear a mask while I'm in the bathroom? I don't want other men to look at me. What the And then you are in a cafe and you get a message from your so-called potential boyfriend. Potential because most of the time they don't even announce that you are dating. But then they start to treat you like they own you. Where are you right now? In a cafe. What are you doing there? Hopefully studying? No, I'm just drinking coffee. Are you wearing a mask? I'm not wearing a mask. Hide your beauty. Girls, that is just a very tiny part of what I experienced. That is just a very tiny part. On to slut shaming in Korea. Slut is just such a strong word to throw at someone. I recently got slut shamed by a woman because I post myself on the internet. By a woman. Where did girls support girls go? Being slut shamed by a woman. She told me to go continue because my mouth is always open in the pictures. I don't know that person. But in Korean, you will be slut shamed for what? Tourists beware. You will be slut shamed for wearing a tank top and showing your shoulders. I was wearing a tank top, black tank top. It was covering everything, even the cleavage. An older guy passed me by and he told me, 미친녀, which means crazy bitch in Korean, because my shoulders were seen. Somehow, shoulders in Korea are considered like showing an ankle in medieval times. Men will stare at you. Girls, I saw Korean girls even being brave and wearing tank tops, but I received that maybe because I'm a foreigner and specifically because I'm a Slavic person in Korea, and for example in Busan prostitutes are usually Slavic, so not only was I Slavic but also wearing a tank top, so I got slut shamed. You may even be asked how much for a night. You don't know that person but you will be asked that. I'm so sorry, I may get hate for that because I'm a foreigner and somehow I'm judging a country that is not mine. Sorry, those are just my observations, and I want to warn exchange students, specifically girls, when they're traveling, of what to expect and not to believe into fairy tales that are shown in the media. Those fairy tales are usually shown to cover what's happening in real life, okay? But somehow they don't care if you wear short skirts or shorts, if you're wearing shorts underneath them. Like, you have to be wearing shorts and underneath them shorts. And usually if you buy a skirt in Korea, it will come with shorts sewn in already inside. Like at nightlife, of course, everyone can wear what they want once they enter a club. It's 3 a.m, no older person around, but to respect at least an older person and to not shock them, just try not to wear a tank top in the daylight. On to good things about Korea. Beauty procedures, take advantage while you're there. Beauty procedures specifically, oh my god, I recommend to you clinics for your scalp, because my hair, they have never been this thick and long in my whole entire lifetime. I went to a WT method scalp clinic. It's on Gangnam. There will be a name here. Guys, it is so, first of all, it's not painful at all. They just massage your scalp and also scrub it so that you don't have any daffodil, is that what it's called? It's called dandruff. Turns out that everyone has a bit of. They scan your scalp, they show you what it's like there. I've never seen such fast growth. Of course, you have to do it regularly for even a better result. I went to 2 sessions. Even 2 sessions gave me such result. When I go back in April, hopefully, I'm not sure yet. My mom is like playing with me. Yeah, we're going there for a holiday. We may not go there for a holiday. Going back, I'm gonna take 3 sessions. Then I went to, also in Gangnam, there is a VS clinic for your skin. We're making tea. And another one I went to is Lianjiang Clinic, and both of those clinics are also on other subway stations. My sister is making ASMR. You may check it on Naver Map app. You may choose everything. You may even do not a liposuction, but that's what a lot of K-pop idols do. Like sometimes you see a girl and somehow when she first debuted, her legs did not have a shape that she has now. Why, I wonder? They look so skinny, and she finally has a thigh gap, which is considered so beautiful in Korea. How? Injection. Fat dissolving injection. That is not a liposuction. That is an easier procedure. You have to repeat it though sometimes, like once a year. But it dissolves fat. You can do it in the chin, in your arm area here. Like sometimes we have wings. Thigh gap, most popular place. Your lower belly. I was thinking about doing something in my chin. Then I realized once you start going into those clinics, I only went for face clean, moisturizing, a bit of like serums, basic skincare. But once you enter, they give you a book like this. It's like a menu, but a menu of surgeries. You open that and somehow you find out that everything in Korea is much cheaper than it is in Europe and USA. You see, Botox, $90, and then you start to consider, maybe I need a Botox, maybe I need a fat dissolving clinic. So you can easily get addicted to that, especially if you have a bit of cash that you can spend. Don't, unless you really wanted something for a very long time and you were thinking about that even before coming to Korea, and now you finally see that it's cheaper than doing it in your homeland, so now you can finally do that. Of course, in that situation, do whatever the hell you want. But if you come to a clinic and suddenly you see that it's so cheap that you start to think about that, no. I almost got hooked. I was thinking about getting a fat dissolving thing into here to create that V-line that also K-pop idols do. And on to the next point, transparency. They ask you about everything because it is not considered bad in Korea how much money your parents make a month. That is the actual question I got. They ask personal questions first time they see you. First time they see you. Oh my god, did you buy that phone with your parents' money or your own? What is the reason for asking that? Like, how will it help you in the future to you asking that question? It was a culture shock to me. That is their culture, of course. Like, they're used to questions like that. I'm not. It was like, 모르겠어요. I don't know. How much money my parents make a month? I've never asked my parents that question. I know that I will be slapped in the face if I ask that question. And I'm their child. I feel like I need to use a gloss. Even though there is low criminal rate, don't leave your things. Another culture shock. You will see people leaving their laptop on some table in a cafe and just leaving. They may even go to another subway station, to their home, get things they need in home, come back to a cafe. They just leave the laptop because no one takes those things. Cameras are everywhere. I mean, it's okay in a cafe. Also, Koreans will snitch on you if you take another person's thing. Culture of being honest. And that is, I approve. I approve. I feel like it should be everywhere. As society, they're very like close. They follow law, especially when it comes to bureaucracy and paperwork. You need paper for everything. Be ready for that. A lot of bureaucracy. I still could not get a visa in Korea, even though I was studying in Yonsei for 2 semesters. I could not get a visa because you need a special document saying that you are studying at that university, and that cannot be like a check that you pay for 2 semesters. You need to get a special document from another special person that you can provide to the Sakwan. to an embassy. So you paying for 2 semesters and even you showing a paper that proves that you go to classes is not enough. You need a third paper. Back to low criminal rate. My phone was stolen on Hongdae because I left it on the table, turned from the table, I turned back, it's gone. A foreigner could do that, but then my Korean friend's phone was also stolen and she could track her phone, and that person who took that phone, stole that phone, went to some Korean city back to their apartment. Like, she could see the address. I told that story to a lot of Korean people, that my phone was stolen on Hyundai, and they were like, oh, did a 외국인, like foreigner, do that? As we see on my friend's example, even some Koreans still, like, do not be so blinded by the lights. There is stealing in Korea. Don't leave your laptop in a cafe, even though you see everyone doing that. Don't leave your wallet behind. Always carry those things with you. Your phone, wallet, ID card, always take them with you. Never put, I did that only once in Korea because I saw other people doing that. They had a transparent phone case and they put their ID card into theirs. They enter a nightclub, they don't have to put it from their wallet and like show it and put it back. They just have it in their transparent phone case and they show it to a security. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do that too. I did that once. That night my phone was stolen. So my ID and my phone were stolen together. So don't leave that. Don't leave those things behind. Always carry the most important things: keys to your house, wallet, ID document, phone. Always have them with you, even if you're going to order a cafe latte or whatever the you want. Don't leave them on the table. Trust me. I mean, in the daylight, maybe it won't be stolen, but I can't guarantee you that. I can't guarantee you that. Don't try to fit their beauty standards because it's impossible, even if you're annyeong. Don't even try. Don't even try. Once you come back home, trust me, I experienced that myself. So in Korea, I started to be less confident in my body, which is very difficult to do for me because I'm very confident in my looks. I can say that for sure. I mean, you cannot say that, by the way. You cannot say that even to your boyfriend in Korea that, oh, yeah, I do consider myself pretty. He will be like, you can't say that. You had to say like, 예쁘긴요? 예쁘긴? No, I'm not pretty. Like, you had to play 애교 to me. So you can't be too confident in Korea. You have to always humiliate yourself a bit, like lower yourself. I started to be less confident in my body. Can you believe that? Once I came back home, my eyes opened up. I realized that, oh my God, those months I was chasing some beauty standards that I would never, even if I starved myself to like 45 kilograms, which is apparently very pretty. Even if I starved myself, some people would still find me ugly because annyeong, who fits the beauty standard the most, is considered ugly by some people. Can you believe that? The queen herself is considered for foodies like me. Food is an essential part of life, specifically Italian cuisine. Cheese lovers, good cheese that you're used to in Italy or in your home country, basically in Europe, everywhere cheese is very good. There is no such cheese. If there is, it will be so expensive. And I even bought very expensive parmigiano. It was so salty. I don't know why it was so salty. Maybe for it to be preserved more, because maybe Koreans do not buy cheese as much. It's not in high demand. And usually pizza, for example, the cheese they use on top, it's like rubber. It's not real cheese. Italian food, spaghetti will be sweet. I don't know why spaghetti is sweet. I tried a lot of Italian restaurants. If there are good Italian restaurants, of course, leave a comment down below. If I'm totally wrong in here, you may write, you dumb. There is Italian food. I know that Italian chef that lives in Korea. Of course, leave a comment like that. It's good. It will give me activity on my account. There is nothing wrong, but it's just not the pasta that we're used to. So if you're a foodie, stick to Korean food because Korean food is very good. Yukgaejang. Try yukgaejang. It's my favorite soup. Oh, it's my favorite soup. And Korean barbecue. But Korean barbecue, most part, you cannot go to unless there are 2 people. Like, you can go alone to a Korean barbecue restaurant. Some restaurants will not even allow you to come inside, so beware of that. No local friends. Yes, it is very difficult. That is the last point. It is very difficult to find local friends, specifically if you don't speak Korean. If you're an exchange student, you will basically hang out with other exchange students or Koreans who know how to speak English. Usually it's difficult to find a Korean person for a foreigner because most Koreans do not speak English, and it's understandable because learning English is as difficult for them as it is for us to learn Korean. A lot of Koreans these days already learn it, a lot can speak, but still I noticed also a lot of young people not knowing a single word. They're not that open to be friends with foreigners. No one will be jumping around you. Learn Korean if you want to make actual like local Korean friends that do not know a single thing about Western culture. You can exchange cultures, you can exchange knowledge, then learn Korean. You cannot just go and be like, oh, I want to learn a Korean from scratch with my Korean oppa. There is absolutely nothing to do in winter. If you know climate in London, Tallinn, Estonia, my city, in Moscow, also my city. If you know climates in those three cities, it's the same in Seoul. It snows a lot, sometimes it's minus 20 degrees Celsius. I haven't noticed any Christmas mood in the air. Of course, there are a lot of decorations on Myeongdong, city center of Seoul, but there is no Christmas mood. So just go to London if you want a Christmas mood. You should go to Korea starting from maybe late February. If you like strawberries, you can go in late February because they have 달기철, which means strawberry season. And strawberries in there are like our strawberries, our European strawberries in June. So sweet. And in every cafe, there is a special menu with only strawberries. Like main ingredient is strawberry. So yeah, of course you can go in late February. And starting from March to, I would say, beginning of November, that's when you can travel. That is so beautiful. And they have pokot, which is actually Koreans don't like when you are using karaoke or sakura words because those are Japanese words. Karaoke is noraepang, sakura is pokot. So sakura usually, and then I'm using that word, sakura usually blossoms? Yeah. In late March, early April. I'm a summer person, so I'm like suggesting to visit Korea in summer, specifically like Jeju. But if you can't stand heat, then maybe don't travel in like July, August, because it's unbearably hot. Not only is it hot, it's also very humid. Yes. I need to edit 2 vlogs and I hate editing, but I'm gonna push myself. Maybe I want to do YouTube in the future. I hope that it was not too aggressive. Those were not just my observations, but also observations of Koreans themselves, because I talk to them. Okay, bye. Bye. I'm gonna edit a vlog that will take me 10 hours. Minimum. Okay, bye.